Yeah, it's John G. Sutton here. Tales from the Jails. You can have a look down below. I'll put a link to my latest book, HMP Manchester Prison Officer. You can see that. Get it on Amazon, folks. Yeah, I'm going to talk today a little bit about the discipline system at Strangeways. I mean, there were two systems of discipline in the prison. There was the official one, and then there was the unofficial one. There was staff there who used to automatically decide that inmates would be, if they transgressed, they'd be given things like a food-free diet. Now, a food-free diet consists of, when it comes time for meals, you don't get one. They leave you locked in your cell. And the idea is that if you bang on the door and complain, they come running in with a team and snatch you away, whisk you down onto D1 landing and put you in one of those empty cells. I mean, when we're talking about an empty cell, there's nothing in it, not even a bed, just a piss pot. That's it, that's all that's in there, plastic piss pot, and you gets thrown in there with your clothes ripped off. That's the kind of the unofficial system. But the official system involves usually in you transgressing and committing some kind of minor offence against good order and discipline. I believe it was Rule 47 under the Prison Act. Any inmate who commits an offence contrary to good order and discipline will be automatically placed at the mercy of the governor. And it depends, of course, upon the governor. I mean, when I worked at Strangeways, it was the infamous Norman Brown. Yes, folks, that Norman Brown. And he would take 7 days remission from inmates, so they had to do an extra week in jail. I mean, that's quite a serious thing to do to an inmate, but it was frequently done. And for minor things such as smoking on the landings or smoking in the recess, which wasn't allowed. Of course, at that time, everybody was smoking tobacco, and it was pretty well the currency that was used in the prisons, tobacco. So inmates used to buy roll-ups. I think it was called Golden Virginia. They used to sell it in like 4-ounce packs or whatever it was. I didn't smoke it myself. I managed to give up because I used to be hooked on cigarettes. Absolutely, it's a terrible thing to stop. You try stopping smoking. Back in the 1970s when I stopped, it was cold turkey. You didn't get any patches or nicotine chewing gum, nothing like that. You just went, stop smoking, and that was it. I had a packet in my pocket for about 2 years, actually, and gradually I gave them away. I never touched a cigarette from the day I stopped. I think it was the 26th of September 1975, something like that. Anyway, I never touched one since. It's a long time ago now, isn't it? Was it 47 years? Yeah. Wow. Anyway, here we are. Here we are now, and I'm telling you about the informal and the formal discipline procedures. I mean, the formal discipline procedures involved inmates getting a charge sheet. They would be required to answer the charge sheet. I mean, they could just say anything, and then they get taken before the governor, marched in. It'd be a bit like a military court, It was based on the military idea, all the prison system that existed in the 1970s was very much army based, left, right, get them knees up, lad, all that nonsense, I mean, these days the problem occurs because nobody in the prison system has done military service. Seriously, they haven't, have they? I mean, you don't find many inmates who've been in the military, not many, and you don't find officers that have been in, like, NCOs. I was a military NCO, the drill instructor for a period of time. And you learn how to give orders then. And the thing is, when I was giving orders to soldiers. who knew how to hear an order. So I would say something like, you, go and do that. And they would go and do it. If I said to them, go and shift that jerry can over there and taking load up, they'd go and do things like that. Same in the prisons. I'll say, right, get behind your doors. They knew that they could hear the order. But as time passed, less and less and less people started to understand direct orders. So you've got to resort to a discipline system, and that's what they had, the prison rules. And, of course, the informal stuff was just generally based on violence, and abuse of the inmates. I don't know what staff got out of urinating into soup, but I saw one big fat bastard whip his todger out and piss into a tureen of soup. And I said to him, don't want to be funny here, but what's that all about, He said to me, that'll teach the bastards. I thought, well, don't teach them anything. Makes me question your sanity. But, of course, you can't say that to somebody, The next thing you know, you've got the tureen of soup over your head. Because the staff weren't averse to actually lashing out and administering some violence to their fellow staff. I mean, I got attacked a number of times. But no wonder, really, when you think about it, because I was trying to tell them, behave like an adult, cut out this playground stupidity. But unfortunately, it was endemic in the system. As Monty Python says, come and see the violence endemic in the system. There it is. And here we are. So the official thing was charge sheet, report before the governor, administration. And if you'd taken somebody before Norman Brown and said, as an officer, you said, I saw this inmate flying round the prison on a broomstick. Right, contrary to good order and discipline, 7 days loss of remission, 7 days non-associated labour. Non-associated labour actually meant banged up down the block. And of course down the block we had the characters like Bootsy, also known as the school bully. They had Piggy, it was a big fella Piggy. The black dog, who walked around with a face like a black dog. I don't know, that's what they call him. And another famous one was the Chinese money box. He could put your arms into places where you didn't even know you had places. And we've had a request, yes, so that's a little talk about the system. Yes, I've been requested, somebody has been mad enough to request I do a song. So it's a song dinger that you can hear in the background, which is a warning to all those of you with a gentle disposition to run for the hills. I've never actually heard this song before, I only heard it today. It's Tom Waits, it's called Cemetery Polka. And I'm not really too sure how I'm going to do this, because I'm just not an expert singer. Well, you've already gathered that, haven't you, folks? So here we go. I'll give it a go. Cemetery Polka by Tom Waits. And I hope you're sitting comfortably. Strap yourself in. Uncle Vernon, independent as a hog on ice. He's a big shot down there at the slaughterhouse. He plays accordion for Mr. Ice. Uncle Baltimore and Uncle William made $1 million to bring World War II, but they're tightwads and they're cheapskates, and they'll never give a dime to you. Auntie Marnie has gone insane. She lives in the doorway of a old hotel, and the radio is playing opera, and all she ever says is, go to hell. Uncle Violet flew a pilot, and there ain't no pretty girls in France. Now he runs a little boogie joint. They say he never keeps it in his pants. Uncle Bill will never leave a will, and the tumour is as big as an egg. He has a mistress, she's Puerto Rican, and I heard she's got a wooden leg. Uncle Phil can't live without his pills. He has emphysema and he's almost blind. We must find out where the money is. Get it now, before he loses his mind. Uncle Vernon, independent as a hog on ice. He's a big shot down there at the slaughterhouse. He plays accordion for Mr. Vice. That, believe it or not, was Cemetery Polka. Originally by Tom Waits and just completely emasculated by John G. Sutton. Don't forget to get my book, folks. It's on Amazon. And do leave me a review if you read it. I know the author. It's me.